Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I have a singular pleasure this evening in starting off the awards part of the evening by first introducing one of the two honorees for this evening. But before that, Linda asked me if I could talk just a little bit about the part of the world I live in and what's happening there in the field of entrepreneurship. And I'd like to say something very simple but very fundamental, and I'm sure you'll all get it, and that is that we do not inherit the future from our parents. We merely borrow it from our children. And what I mean to say by that is that entrepreneurship and the hope of entrepreneurship is a gift that we inherit from our children and that we leave to our children. It leaves the world a better place. It spurs creativity, it spurs thinking, it spurs employment. You are blessed in New York City and the United States because entrepreneurship is part of your lifeblood, it is recognized, and it is something which is celebrated. I come from a part of the world where entrepreneurship, which in turn is fundamentally responsible for driving the SME sector where I live, and by that I mean the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia, 85 to 90% of the employment in that part of the world comes from the SME sector. And only 25% of the GDP of that entire region comes from the SME sector. Here it's 50-50. There we are massively skewered. We need to create more SMEs, we need to create more jobs, we need to create more opportunity. And in doing so, we have to recognize that nearly 50 million young Arabs happen to be without jobs and are unlikely to find jobs in the course of the next 15 years unless we do something radical, which is to spur the growth of SMEs. It's not the government sector that will give them employment. It is going to be the private sector. It is going to be entrepreneurs, and it is going to be the opportunity created by entrepreneurship that is going to take us over onto the other side. All of you have been gripped this year by news and talk of the Arab Spring. Well, the Arab Spring is now, we've gone past the long, hot Arab summer, we're in the Arab autumn, and I'm pretty sure we'll be in the same place in the Arab winter. However, there is hope. It's not just about countries changing their rulers, it's not just about, the process dragging out a lot, but the way I like to think about it is very optimistically. Whenever we used to think about the future a year ago, we were beset by uncertainty 1 year ago, not very long ago. We were beset by uncertainty. What will happen in Egypt after Mubarak dies? What is going to happen to Libya and its wealth once that man relinquishes his hold on power? How long will the people of Syria get suppressed? There were so many questions, and now we have all the answers. We've taken the uncertainty out of the future. We've brought it into the present. And by doing so, hopefully within the next year or so, we will create a better Arab world. And an Arab world that will be full of opportunity, that will be heralding the winds of change, that will be a cause for celebration, especially around entrepreneurship. And that is why when Linda decided to focus her attention on the Middle East, I jumped up and I said, please, not only would we like to support you, it will be our honor to support you. Because we are as focused on the creation of opportunities in entrepreneurship as anyone else in that region. We have a responsibility as the largest PE firm that operates there, and for us it is very incumbent to take a stakeholder approach to the focus areas of employment and creation of empowerment for the youth, which is what tomorrow is all about. And actually that brings me very well into an introduction into the person that I'm about to introduce to you. He is all about entrepreneurship. It's very easy to talk about him because he's been one of my closest friends for the last 15 or 20 years. I first met him in a YPO gathering all those many years ago. And we were doing a simulated business course together where 8 of us had been left on a mountaintop after an aircraft crash. And each of us was given a role, and I was the wounded person. And Fadi took one look at me and he said, let's just kill him, we're going to need meat for the way down. I swear to you, I am not exaggerating. Since then, I have helped buy his company, I have helped sell his company, I have been on numerous entrepreneurship panels with him. We have done a lot of good together. But the one thing that has not changed is this man's inherent competitive instinct. And it is this competitive instinct that has propelled him to the forefront of what makes a spectacular global leader today. And I'm very proud that he's my friend, but more importantly, I'm very proud that he's the Arab world's friend. Because in the course of doing what he does, he gives hope to untold thousands and people that actually look to him for leadership, look to him for encouragement, and he does not disappoint anyone. You may not have heard of him, many of you, before this evening. Let me promise you, you will hear a lot of him in the years to come. It's my great privilege and pleasure to invite Fadi up on the stage.